Hello and welcome back to the channel as we continue our route of the Blackburn Valley line in part 3. I'm here today with Johnny from Wet Dog FBK.
Hello.
Subscribe to his channel, I'll leave a link in the description below. So we're going to be continuing where we left off in part 2. Just behind me was Westwood Station and the Hoyland Brickworks. So if you haven't seen that episode, please watch that one. We're going to be continuing on towards Tankersley. In part 3 of the Blackburn Valley line, we'll be continuing our route from part 2, starting at the location of the Rockingham Colliery. We'll then make our way down towards Sheffield, rediscovering 2 railway stations at Birdwell and Hoyland Common, and we'll be finishing the video at the site of the former Westwood Station.
If you remember back in part 2, that was the Westwood Station that closed within a couple of months. So our route of the line continues right through here, where it looks like the line entered a cutting, or some kind of cutting anyway. It looks like you did have the line that ventured through this bit. And it's still quite overgrown in this section, but the line was wide for 2 tracks. So it doesn't look like we had our other part of the line at the side there. Now to the left is going to be the location of the Rockingham Colliery. So our line would have continued right through where this fence is. Now where you can just see that industrial building up there, that was the site of the Rockingham Colliery. Somewhere down here there used to be a sawmill. Now apparently the Rockingham Colliery shut in around the 1970s. Somewhere just beyond there was a link between the Midland line, which is just down here, and our South Yorkshire Railway. Now there's not much between here and Birdwell, where the colliery was. So we're going to make our way back towards High Road and then continue the video from Birdwell. So I'm on the A61 Wakefield Road, which is the main road between Barnsley and Sheffield. Now the route of the railway was just behind me. You've got an Aldi superstore here, you can just see it here. So that back that way was the Rockingham Colliery that I just showed you. So the line would have made way through right here. So it doesn't look like any railway at all would have passed through here, but you can see there's an industrial building, then the Aldi just here. Now the line would have continued right underneath Wakefield Road under a bridge. And just here you can see this wasteland heading towards where the motorway is. And just here used to be a cutting where the railway line would have continued along an embankment going across where the M1 motorway is. Now the railway was severed back in the 60s to make way for the M1 motorway construction. I did mention that in part 1. Now there was a photo taken from this point on this bridge that's looking down towards where the motorway was before it was constructed. There's 2 buffers that were just here. Now the track would have been at a lower level, so I'm going to just try and show you and fade this picture in now. Now there is a photograph that has been taken of a cutting that was on the other side of this bridge. Now I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to show you because some of these buildings being in the way, but I'll fade the photo of the cutting looking back towards the colliery. We are just walking off the track bed on the footbridge that goes over the M1 motorway. Now even though this wasn't the track bed, this you can tell is a railway sleeper, so I'm guessing this would have been part of the Blackburn Valley line. There's actually 2 of them. You can see here the holes in the sleeper. So this is the M1 motorway looking northbound. Now like I just said before, part of the railway embankment was severed. So just down there is where the railway line would have crossed over on the embankment, and there's a line of trees just showing evidence of the railway where it carried on towards Birdwell. So you just got here Tankersley St Peter's School, which is a school that's marked on the early 20th century map. Here's that footbridge that I was referring to, that we crossed over the motorway, and the railway line would have continued down that line of trees there. So we're at the other side of the motorway where the railway crossed over. You could just see the motorway just behind all those trees, and here is the start of where the demolished embankment that carried on towards Birdwell and Hoyland Station. You can see the remains of it here. Now, we have found evidence of this being the railway, because there's a lot of boundary posts that you can see all the way down this embankment going down towards the station. You can just see one here, and there are more going down here. Now, like I said, they did sever the line to make way for the motorway. And here, as we just follow the route of the railway along this embankment, which was just up there, can't get on it. And the other side is privately owned, and the owner did actually point us to where we could actually find a path down the side of the railway to come and find what remains. So our route obviously took us this way. So we're going to head towards Birdwell and Hoyland Station, which is now a housing estate. So it literally looks like we're in the middle of nowhere here. Now, there is a footpath that just walks alongside the embankment. There's also a culvert down here that was spotted. So we're just off the track bed now, but you can just see a clearer shot of the embankment. There are some more fence posts. You can see one covered in ivy here, and there's a few more, like I say, that mark the boundary of the railway. Yeah, there are more fence posts, and there seems to be a lot still remaining. A few here. And if I just walk up alongside the embankment down towards where there is a culvert, you can clearly see there's more fence posts. There would have been cabling along the fence, I guess, or some kind of wiring before the line went into disuse. So this line, the line closed in '86. Another fence post here. I've got another line of fence posts here, and then our last couple are just on the side here. And here is that culvert, that drainage culvert. Doesn't seem to be in use. I'll tell a lie, it is. There's a couple, one runs under the disused section of the line. See, it's built out of stone. So at the top there, you can just see the top of it and the coping stone. And then the floor that goes down. Not sure where it heads, I think it heads down into a stream. So I just take you onto the other side, and it's fenced off, it's pried up, but there is like a stream here, just flowing to a stream just going down there. Obviously the embankment now continues across here to where there was a demolished bridge on towards the Hoyland and Birdwell station. It is actually showing that the draining does go down towards Birdwell Dyke, which is the village of Birdwell, slightly more north of here, just next to the Midland line. So this channel does flow down there, and it's not flowing aggressively today. We've not had masses of rain, but yeah, you can see on the map, so it does go underneath the line, and obviously flows right under here and goes towards Birdwell. Now you do have the Midland line just going adjacent to us, just over further that way. Obviously the Blackburn Valley line is behind me, and we will come to some point Birdwell and Hoyland Station, and slightly beyond was the Warncliffe and Silkstone Colliery. Now we are walking still adjacent to the embankment. It does look like it was slightly demolished. We are now approaching a housing estate where the site of the Hoyland and Birdwell, or Birdwell and Hoyland Station was. So we're currently on New Road. Now just behind me here is where the embankment would have taken the line across into this new housing estate, which is just here. Now it looks like there was a bridge that did actually go over towards the station. You can just see the supports here of the bridge. Now initially I did think that the line went under here, but because the embankment was up there, it looks like it came across here, and then a bridge has obviously been demolished. Like I say, you can see the supports, and the station would have been located in the housing estate. So we are approaching the site of Birdwell and Hoyland Station. There's a line, you can see the embankment just up there, would have come across here, and the station would have just been located down here. Now we are in public, but this was the site of the station. We'll just be very careful that we don't video people's houses too much, but this is where the station was actually located. So if you have a look at the Google Maps, I found the coordinates of where the station was, and it does say that it was actually here. So there's obviously no evidence of it being a railway station, but it was located here. So the station was built and it opened in 1855 on the 3rd of February, closing on December the 7th, 1953. Now this was the station house. We've only just realised that it did look too new to be a station house, but it does actually say station house at the top.
Now, majority of the track bed between the Birdwell, Hoyland Common station down towards Tankersley has totally been obliterated. Now you can see that there was the Warncliffe and Silkstone Colliery at the top left just there.
We're now in Tankersley, and we've found a section of the track bed beyond Birdwell and Hoyland Common station. Now you can't get on it because it's all fenced off, but we have found a railway cutting that goes underneath a bridge that's now fenced and filled in. Now there are a lot of evidence that this was the railway. Now we can't go in there, but I'll show you what I can see from the side here. So the fence is obviously blocking us from going on the track bed, but you can just see there, don't know if you can just make that out, that there's a fence post, the boundary fence to the railway, and it does go down towards the bridge. I've just had to hook my hands over the fence here, but you can just see a few more boundary fence posts going along the cutting, and it is a really deep cutting down there, and I bet there'd have been a lot of interesting things to find if we could have gone down there, but clearly no one wants you to get down there, so we'll respect it. You can clearly see it's been gated off, but we're probably able to get a better view of the bridge as we head onto the road just down here. Well, like I said, the track bed did continue underneath the bridge that runs under, or it did run under the A61. Don't know if you can just make it out. I'll try and zoom it in. You can just see the fence post, and you can see how the bridge is now, it's like it's been bricked up. So there's no getting under that bridge. So we're now onto the A61, and this is our railway bridge that we were referring to. You can see it's a clearly busy road. But underneath was the bridge. I'm not sure how much it's been filled in, but here's a view of the bridge from above. And if I just take you over here, you can see where the cutting came down underneath the bridge. So I just did show you a shot of the bridge. I don't know if you can just make it out. I don't think I can get a view. There's a cutting going back towards Birdwell and Hoyland Common station. And the railway would have gone underneath this bridge. Here's a better view of the cutting, and you can see majority of it actually has been filled in itself, or if it's just natural landslips that's caused the cutting to be blocked up. Now the bridge itself, it's in decent condition, however I've spotted a small crack. That's just here, nothing too sinister. Now I thought this was one of my favourite things, which normally says Department for Transport, but it doesn't. However, I think there are some missing numbers that you can see. I think this was bridge number 5 on the line, I'm not sure. However, this is the other side of the bridge that took the line under the A61, and there is a section of the track bed you can just see that goes down there. You could probably walk on there. And it takes you to what looks like another infill bridge. We're at the other side of that bridge that went under the A61, and here you can clearly tell we've got infill. So there's loads of spoil that's been used to fill that bridge in, and it wasn't the shortest of bridges. They had quite a length underneath, that split the A road. You can see here how much the bridge has been infilled. And it does take you down towards a section of the track bed you could probably walk on, but I'm not going to go down there. I'll just walk as close to it as possible just to show you what's here. The route of the line did continue down here into quite a small cutting. Now that bridge is referred to on the maps as Sowell Bridge. Up there you've got Upper Tankersley. Now if we just continue down this way, now you were coming up to a section just here where there was a branch off towards Tankersley Colliery. Got a bit of a drainage channel here. Now apparently all this section is quite new around here, so they put the roundabout in quite recently. When was it?
Maybe 20 years ago.
About 20 years ago, Johnny said. So yeah, all this section is fairly new, but Tankersley Colliery would have been somewhere up here. So let's see what we can find. So we're currently on the A616. So our route of the track bed would have gone underneath a small bridge somewhere around here. I would have curved and made its way that way. Just here would have been the branch off up towards the Tankersley Colliery. So what we're going to do now is make our way down towards where the line continued. Now we have got evidence that this was still the railway that continued, that went from under the A616. So our track bed would have carried on down here into, it looks like what was a cutting as it headed towards Westwood. You can see there's a fence post that's covered in ivy here, and we've got what we found, a blocked culvert that's just down here, so be careful. Whoa, don't want to be falling like I did in part 2. You can see here we've got a blocked culvert. It's all blocked by leaves. Went right under here. But evidence of the railway. And I think we're actually going to be walking on the track bed now, so we're coming up onto the track bed, which is now a public bridleway. So that's good. So you've got fence posts just on the corner here. So back that way, where's the bridge? And here's our bridleway. That's going to take us down towards Westwood. Got a fishing pond just over there. So back onto our track bed. See more railway evidence. We've got a fence support. Got another fence post just on the corner down here. And there's quite a few that go down here. Don't know if you can just make them out. A nice row of fence posts that continue along the track bed. There are a few on the other side, but we can't really get to them. Made it on top of this bridge that the line carried on over. It's like it was made out of red brick. Now initially I did think it carried a stream, but I think it's just a pedestrian bridge, so we'll go down and have a look. So here's a view of that bridge that took the line over towards Westwood. You can see it's got some coping stones, and there were some at the top, but they obviously have decayed over time. We have found one or a few, so I think these were the old coping stones that have fallen down. You can just see one that's embedded into the floor here. Now you can see it was made out of red brick. We've got a stone pillar in the middle. What was this here?
Keystone.
Keystone, yeah. So you got a keystone here. So if you saw part 2 of the Blackburn Valley line, which was the previous episode to this, you know where that was made. So we did cover the site of the Hoyland Brick Company in that series. So if you haven't seen it, please do give it a watch. I'll leave a link in the description below, but both myself and Johnny did cover the site of Hoyland Brickworks, which these bricks looks like they were manufactured and made at the site. Now you can clearly see that the bridge is not in the best of condition. I'm going to go in here. I haven't brought my torch with me, but there is plenty of light to get in. You can see there's some eroded and decayed brick under here. You can see it on the ground here. And if we just venture further in, you can see one of the old coping stones that's still on the floor here. And a bit of decay there. That's one of them where I wish I'd have brought my my torch. And I believe this footpath was to connect the Tankersley Colliery. Now if you have a look at the maps, you can see it leads from the Tankersley Colliery underneath the line, and it heads towards the Westwood Common, which would have been located just down there. That's actually quite a decent find this. You can see a little bit of erosion on here. Call it a mini tunnel. If we just venture to the other side, I think this was a pedestrian tunnel actually that went underneath the line. If we come out to the other side, and you can see another keystone at the top there. A bit more ivy that's grown on top of the bridge. Again, you've got a lot more of the some fence posts just from the corner here. It's a pretty decent find this. So it is worth venturing on a disused railway just off the track bed to find stuff like this. If I walk back, it does kind of go up on a gradient. You can see how the ground does slope up. You can see how the each side of the bridge short. I call it a portal because I'm having to crouch down now. It gets quite shorter.
We are currently walking on the track bed, and it looks like we're just walking in an abandoned field. But we are coming up towards the site of Westwood Station, which is coming up ahead. Now we are following the coordinates to the railway station, which is on Google Maps. I found it on Wikipedia. It just gives you the site of where the station was, and it shows that we're actually getting close. You can just see there. And I think we are on the track bed. I'm getting ever so closer. It's like we're an embankment that went on towards the station site. Yeah, it does look like this was the embankment that led towards it. And you can see we're getting even closer. We have found a little pit down here. I'm not sure what it is. You can't really see much because of the leaves. I don't know if it was a drainage channel underneath there or something. You can see there's a wooden block just at the top there. Looks like it might be an old sleeper. And the red bricks on the corner here. Now we're currently on the Blackburn Valley walking trail, and the side-by-side map view is showing that the station was located here. So the station was in fact just within these woods here. We have found some evidence that the railway station was here. So let's go in there and see what we can see. Yeah.
Yeah, we go along with that. 'Cause if you'll stand here, you can see a definite drop off.
Yeah. Now, as Johnny's just pointed out there, this was where one of the station buildings looks like it would have been. You would have had a platform around here, and there's lots of evidence of a building. Looks like it was made out of red brick. You've got some roof slates, so remains of some roof slates. There's one here. And there's another one somewhere which we found. Can't remember where it was. But yeah, this was the site of the Westwood Station. You've got more evidence of a building here. You can see some more. There's a bit of stonework just down there. Now there is a bit of a drop off here where potentially the platforms were located. It looks absolutely nothing like this would have been a railway station, but it was. Opening on the 4th of September 1854, and it closed on the 28th of October in 1940. Let's have a rummage around and see if there were anything else. A few bricks just underneath me that's overgrown. I'm guessing the trap bed would have been around here. Platform just to the left of me here, with all the station buildings just on there. Now I'm going to try and relate the maps to the picture that I'm just about to put up. Now there was a signal box that was at a high level, which we believe was somewhere just around here. And then there was a siding that went off, and we believe that this is the track going down onto a siding. And the main trap bed was here, because the station buildings are on the right. So I'm just going to see if I can match the picture up and show you what I was talking about. Now our line would continue down towards Chapeltown Station, but to see that, please tune in for part 4 of the Blackburn Valley line. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, because obviously we do a lot of rediscovering of railway history. So that'll be part 4 of the Blackburn Valley line. Thank you from myself and Wet Dog.
Yeah, thanks very much. See you later.
Please subscribe to his channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. Take care and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.